I'll actually give you one on because you asked it when you started. You said like, hey, you ended up in like engineering. You started in like product management engineering and then towards sales. I think there's an interesting story in the transition to sales, because I think this is a manager story that a lot of people could learn from. At one point in my career, we have a very stern French CEO, and I run product management, and I feel I'm good at my job. I know what I'm doing. We have a big team. We're building great things. And one day he actually calls me and our CTO into the office, and he looks at both of us, and he looks at me first, and he was very French, very stern, elderly gentleman. You know that it was discipline. It was, you wear the right tie, you do it. And he looks at me and goes, Rasmus, I love your work, but you're way too clever for yourself. And I go, oh, I'm sorry. And he goes, hey, you've never carried the bag. So whenever you come up with all these product ideas, you've actually never, ever had to sell it. So whenever you build a business case, I can't see through that. It's like, you will promise that this is worth 10 million. Maybe it's worth 1 million. Maybe it's worth something. You can't actually feel that because you haven't tried it. Mm. And he went, you're, by the way, head of this region as of next week in sales.
Yeah.
And by the way, also for the CTO, you are now head of product management because you just built whatever you want to do. You never built what the customers want. And you go, and both the CTO and myself, we felt like, hey, we were great. We were doing good in the business. And then all of a sudden you feel very uncomfortable. And obviously having a stern CEO then doing this and being, having been a sales leader, I know you can rip apart any forecast if you want to and any pipeline if you want to deliberately. And he did so the next week. Like, your first sales review is on Wednesday, and you came in, all the rookie mistakes. I called exactly my budget. Didn't have full coverage for it, but just list all of the mistakes, and they've been a bingo of those all the way through. And ever since that day, I've had a humility about what it means to carry the bag and being in sales. And eventually we were moved back, and I think both of us learned a lot from it.
That's good.
And then you can say that's a terrible thing to do, and all of that. But it was also the test of whether we would be good. And of the people who were in that leadership team, one of us has their own venture capital fund. Our CTO is still a CTO, and the rest of us actually are CEOs. And just before COVID, he still invites us back as if it's his flock, right? To the Royal Automotive Club in London, and then goes, let me just see if you're all doing well. Because he feels like he's mentored this. He didn't mentor with love. He mentored with a little bit of but it's also a career-defining moment where you figure out, I actually don't know everything, and I need to be humble about the other traits of what a business needs to deliver.
My best bosses were also the tougher ones. If I had to rank the ones that had the most influence on me, the guy I would put at number one. Yeah, he definitely was tough at times. He would. I mean, there was a few hugs here and there, but not a ton.
I'm sure that Alex Ferguson or Bill Belichick, whatever sports you pick, I'm not sure they're the nicest people.